What if I told you that the world's biggest Afrobeats prince is actually a man who had to sell his childhood just to keep his mother from trekking on foot? Most creators show you the glitz, the designer masks, and the calm down plaques. But today, we're going behind the curtain into the archives of Benin City to uncover the secret promises that built a legend. Before we reveal the one risky song that almost ended his career before it even started, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. You're watching the definitive guide to the Rave Lord. This is the untold story of how Divine Ikubor became the Heis. Divine Ikubor wasn't born with a silver spoon. He was born into a respected family in Benin City in May 2000. For a while, life was stable. His father, Justice Ikubor, was a high-ranking official and a chieftain. But when Divine was just a young boy, his father passed away in a hotel room, a tragedy that left the family in a vulnerable position. Not long after, tragedy struck again when Divine lost his older brother. Imagine being a teenager, grieving the two most important male figures in your life, and realizing you are now the primary support for your mother. This is the moment Divine Ikubor died, and the provider known as Rema was born. While other kids were playing football or attending secondary school parties, Divine traveled to Ghana. He didn't go for a holiday, he went there to work manual labor. He worked on construction sites and did odd jobs to send money back to Benin. He has stated that he sold his childhood to provide for his family because things were so dire his mother had to trek miles on foot just to get to work. Wait, before we move on, how many of you actually knew Rema was a manual laborer in Ghana? If this is your first time hearing this, drop a respect in the comments. We're building a community here of people who actually care about the artist's journey, not just the hits. If that's you, make sure you've hit subscribe. This hardship is why Rema acts older than he is. He doesn't vibe with many people his age because he had to learn the value of a naira when it meant the difference between his family eating or going hungry. At 17, he made his first million naira. He didn't buy a watch, he bought his mum a car. That discipline is the steel in his spine that allows him to ignore critics today. Before the secular world knew him, Divine was a standout in Christ Embassy's rap nation. He was honing his craft in the church, learning how to command a stage. In 2018, a single Instagram video changed history. The Prince, the brother of Don Jazzy, saw a kid in a car freestyling to Gucci Gang. He didn't just like the post, he drove to Benin to find him. But when he got to Lagos, the industry was skeptical. The Maven brand was legendary, but Rema was different. He didn't sound like Wizkid or Davido. He sounded like a blend of Bollywood, trap, and highlife. People called his sound too weird. But Don Jazzy and the Prince saw what others didn't, a global vision. Even when Barack Obama put Iron Man on his 2019 summer playlist, critics in Nigeria were still calling him a one-hit wonder. They didn't understand the versatility of his debut EP. From the upbeat Dumebi to the trap-heavy Y, Rema was proving he couldn't be boxed in. I'm curious, which Rema era is your favorite? The Dumebi kid or the Heis legend? Let me know in the comments. I respond to as many as I can. Rema's loyalty is his superpower. In 2022, he shared that he was enrolling in the University of Lagos to study creative arts, not because he needed a degree for a job, but to fulfill a promise to his mother. He wanted to show her that his success didn't mean he would abandon the values she raised him with. Though he later had to leave due to the long-running national strikes, the intent showed that fame never erased his roots. He remained the boy from Benin at his core. Then came Calm Down, a song that didn't just break the internet, it rewrote the record books. 1 billion streams on Spotify, and the longest-running African song on the Billboard Hot 100. It stayed on the charts for over a year. But while the world was dancing, Rema was struggling with his identity. He felt the industry was trying to turn him into a safe pop star. He made a promise to himself. He would never be predictable. He began to lean into a darker, more experimental aesthetic, preparing the world for Afro rave. Now we come to the present. It's 2025. Rema has completely transformed. He dropped the Heis album, a project that sounds like a sonic riot. He shaved his head, wore red contacts, and declared himself Heis, the Greek word for the number one. He stopped making music for the radio and started making music for the raver cult. This was his villain era, but it was actually his most authentic era. If you're still watching this deep dive, you are a true fan of the culture. We spend dozens of hours researching these stories to bring you the truth. If you appreciate this level of detail, show your support by hitting that subscribe button right now. It helps us keep making these deep dive documentaries. In late 2024 and through 2025, his world tour shattered records. At a sold-out O2 Arena show, he did something that went viral. He gifted a fan a Birkin bag on stage, symbolizing his journey from having nothing to having everything to give. In 2025, he was named to the Time 100 Next list. He is no longer just an Afrobeats artist. He is a global philosopher of sound. He's currently the most streamed Nigerian artist on YouTube for the third year in a row, proving that being weird is his greatest strength. From his recent 2025 singles like Baby, Is It a Crime, to his massive world tour, he is redefining what it means to be an African superstar. Divine Ikubor went from the streets of Benin to the top of the world by never compromising. He traded his childhood for his family's survival, and in return, the universe gave him the world. He proved that an African artist could dominate the globe without losing their edge. If this story moved you, or if you've been a raver since Dumebi, you belong in this community. Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss our next documentary. We have something huge coming up about the rise of Burna Boy. You won't want to miss it. Tap the bell, join the family, and as Rema would say, another banger. Thanks for watching.